Blessings, beautiful beings. Thank you so much for joining me for today's free July practice. We are going to start out on our mats in a comfortable cross-legged seat. Oh, and here comes Sam. So let's go sit around him. I'll call out some props that you can always pause the video and grab if you would like. One of those things is bye Sam, is a yoga blanket. You don't have to have this exact yoga blanket. You can use any blankets or towels that you have around at home. I'm going to put this down on my mat and sit on it. Again, if you don't have any of these props, that's perfectly fine. And the purpose of sitting on this blanket is so that my hips are coming up above my knees, and that's just going to be a little bit gentler on my knees. Okay, let's go sit down, please. So we're going to come into, oh, and here's Fritz. Everyone say hi before we start. Okay, hello. Okay, let's go sit down, please. Let's go sit down, please. All right. So go ahead and come into your comfortable cross-legged position, whatever that looks like to you. Hey, don't do that. No pornography on here. Okay, go lay down, please. All right. Now let everyone get it all out. And basically, we're going to be doing what they're going to be doing here in just a moment. So that's the purpose of coming and sitting down, is to bring stillness into our bodies, into our minds, and to really get us centered and just prepared for practice. So we're not sitting here going, oh, I need to go do this afterwards, I need to deal with this, and whatever. Whatever you need to do afterwards, or ruminating on whatever happened before that. Hey, you guys are going to have to leave if you're not going to be nice. Go lay down. So they'll sit down and calm down, and we're just going to do the same thing. All right. So if you're sitting on something, great. If you're not sitting on anything, great too. Go ahead and bring your body into stillness. If it feels safe to you, you can close your eyes. If not, then you can just unfocus your gaze or just watch this craziness unfold. Palms can be facing up or down, doesn't matter, whatever feels good to you. When you're there, you can roll your shoulders up, back, and down, really set up nice and tall in your spine, chest nice and lifted and open. And we're just going to take a moment just to breathe here. So just really feel the breath, connect to it, shifting our focus inward and away from anything that's happened during the day and anything that's going to happen for the rest of your day or week, even the rest of the month. Really feel the air as it enters into your body. Observe if it's cool, if it's hot, just what the temperature of the air is. Maybe observe anything you're smelling, or depending, maybe not. Hopefully it's all good smells. With animals, though, you never know. As the air exits your body, again, turn your attention towards it. Feel how it moves through your body as it exits. Notice the temperature. Is it cold? Is it warm? Nice big deep breaths, just in and out. This can be through your nose or your mouth. When you're ready, go ahead and take one more big inhale in. Really feeling filling your lungs and your belly. Take a brief pause at the top. And then go ahead and exhale. You can even sigh it out. Just let it all go. If your eyes were closed, you can go ahead and just slowly bat your eyelashes open and come back to the world around you. All right, let's start warming up and then we'll flow a little bit. So with your left hand, go ahead and bring your left hand over to your right knee. We're going to take our right fingers and just swim them around behind us. On an inhale, go ahead and sit up nice and tall and straight. And on the exhale, go ahead and turn towards the right. Inhale, sit up nice and tall. Exhale, maybe journey a little deeper into the twist. Now, wherever you're at the twist, only go as far as it feels good in your body. Don't use this left hand to crank yourself over. So just go to where it feels comfortable to you. You may not be able to come all the way, twist it over, and that's okay. Everybody's body is different. So honor where your body is at today and stick with that. Take one more big inhale here. Exhale, go ahead and let it go. Return to center. Maybe do a little wiggle. Get out any energy. And just compare both sides. Take a couple breaths here. Compare how the right side feels as opposed to the left. Growling going on. All right. When you're ready, we're going to take our right hand, place it on our left knee. We're going to take our left fingertips, swim them around behind us. Inhale, sit up nice and tall and straight. Exhale, go ahead and turn to the left. Inhale, maybe sitting up a little bit taller. Exhale, maybe journeying a little bit further into that twist. Wherever you're at, just make sure you're still breathing. All right, one more big inhale here. Exhale, let it all go. All right, so now we're going to get into just a little bit of a flow. So go ahead and come to all fours into a nice tabletop position. If you have cranky knees, if you have sensitive knees, leave that blanket or that towel or yoga blanket, whatever you have, go ahead and you can use that on your mat to pad your knees a little bit. So it's not going to be as tough on your knees. My mat is really thin. I don't know, you probably can't see it great in this video, but maybe. It's really thin, which is great, but I also have hardwood floors. So sometimes it can be a little bit rough on my knees. So it's going to depend on your setup too. If you have carpet, maybe it's a little bit gentler on your knees. But again, just listen to your body and do what feels good to you today and just honor where you're at. I am going to remove my blanket, but if you need it, leave it there. All right, so in this all fours position, you want to make sure your knees are under your hip points and you are stacking those shoulders over the wrists. So we're in all fours, nice neutral spine. We're not going to stay here for very long. In fact, go ahead and walk your hands just one handprint in front of where they originally were. They're fighting over a toy. So I'm a little bit, my hands are a little bit ahead of my shoulders. You can see there's a little bit of an angle here. When you're ready, go ahead and tuck your toes under. Really feel a nice stretch through your feet. Inhale. And on the exhale, just hover your knees for a moment. Take another inhale. And then on the exhale, go ahead and straighten through the legs. Shift your weight up, back, and down. Heels reaching towards the floor. And we are in our first downward dog. If your heels don't reach the floor, that's perfectly okay. Mine don't. So don't feel like you have to, because if you're trying to bring your heels to the floor, you can see how my back, it gets a little rounded. We don't want to do that. So step your feet back. You want to have plenty of space. Pull that back down there. And you're really going to feel a nice stretch in the back of the legs and through your back body. Make sure to keep breathing wherever you're at. One more big inhale here. Exhale, let it go. All right, on your next inhale, make sure your left foot is firmly planted into the mat. And on the inhale, we're going to reach our right leg up, toes still dialing down towards the mat. Exhale, bend through the knee, shift forward, look forward, and we're going to step that foot in between our hands. Go ahead and lower onto that left knee. You can keep the toes tucked or you can untuck the toes with the top of your foot grounded into the mat. And then from here, we are now in our nice low lunge. So a couple things, make sure that in this low lunge, your front knee is at a 90-degree angle. You don't want your knee going over that ankle, so nice 90-degree. Also make sure you can see your big toe, so you might need to press your knee out. If this is a little bit challenging, this is where you can use some other props. So you can use things like yoga blocks. If you don't have yoga blocks, that's perfectly okay. You can use, if you have any old textbooks lying around from college or school, use those. They're big and useless now anyway. So you can, if you have anything, you can bring the floor up to you, so that way you can keep your back nice and tall and straight, your chest nice and lifted, and then you can even, as you progress, move these blocks into different positions to where you're closer to the floor. If you're able to bring your fingertips to the floor, great. If you're able to bring your hands to the floor, great. I'm going to stay up on my fingertips. Make sure to pull that right hip crease back, left hip crease forward, so that way you're feeling a nice stretch in this left quad. And then just make sure you're not collapsing through your spine. You want that nice and tall and straight. And breathe. So many instructions. All right, we'll take one more breath here. Exhale, let it go. Now, if you have untucked your left foot like I have, go ahead and retuck it, lift that knee up off the mat. We're going to step our right foot back to meet our left, and now we're in plank. If plank is not in your practice, lower your knees to the ground and come into a half plank. Wherever you're at in this plank, make sure your heels are reaching nice and back. You're really driving them back. Make sure you're not dipping down in your hips. Make sure they're also not coming up. So just a nice straight line, neck and head in line with the spine. Breathe. Feel that shake. Just means you're alive. One more breath here. And then go ahead and lower all the way down to the mat. You can untuck the toes if you'd like. Woo, take a breath. We're going to do a few planks today. Just a few, not a ton. All right, after you've recovered from our first plank, go ahead and bring your hands in line with your rib cage. On an inhale, you'll want to peel your nose and your forehead just up. And we're going to come up slightly. So we're just coming into a little baby cobra for right now until we're a little bit more warmed up. Breathe here, just looking straight ahead. One more inhale, and on the exhale, go ahead and lower your forehead down to the mat. From here, go ahead and come up to all fours once again. We're going to tuck our toes. Inhale, just kind of prepare yourself. And on the exhale, go ahead and lift the knees, straighten through the legs, and we're back in our down dog. So take a moment here just to breathe and to release the head and neck, maybe shake it out. One more big inhale here. Exhale, maybe sigh it out this time. All right, when you're ready, go ahead and look forward. We're gonna make our way up to the top of the mat. So you can take little baby steps, you can take a couple big steps, you can jump, float, maybe levitate, however you want to get there. And we're coming into our first forward fold. So in forward fold, you don't want to lock out your knees like this. You want to keep a slight bend in your knee. You're going to feel that more through the hamstring. If you bend your knees a lot, you're going to feel it in your lower back. So try and straighten your knees, but don't lock them out. On an inhale, come up halfway flat back. So we're just going to put our hands on our shins, have a nice flat back looking forward, kind of preparing again. And on the exhale, let it go, coming into that forward fold. Again, if you are not able to reach the floor, you can use blocks and you can kind of stay in that nice flat back position. Again, as you progress in your practice, you can lower further and further, and then eventually you can get rid of the blocks. Some people like to practice with the blocks, and that's perfectly okay too. They're a great tool. One more big inhale here. Exhale, let it go. Now on your next exhale, we're going to slowly bend at the knees and then slowly start to roll all the way up until you are standing. So we're going to come into mountain pose. Make any adjustments you need to. I'm going to adjust my clothing a little bit. Roll your shoulders up, back, and down. And then when you're ready, stand up nice and straight and tall, thumbs facing forward, pinkies facing back. Head and neck in line with the shoulders, in line with the hips, knees, ankles. One straight line. Coming into that mountain pose, just bringing some stillness into our bodies. Really feel your foot to earth connection. This is a really grounding posture. It's great for grounding. It's great outside. You can even close your eyes if you like. One more big inhale here. And then exhale, let it go. And your next inhale, go ahead and bring your arms up to the sky. Reach, reach, reach. Exhale, go ahead and float them down. Hinge at the hips, bend at the knees. We're coming back into that forward fold. Inhale, come up halfway flat back. Exhale, lower down. And just breathe here. Now when you're ready, we're going to step one foot back, doesn't matter which one, and then the other, and we're back in our plank pose. So just a couple breaths here. Take one more inhale here. And on the exhale, go ahead and lift your hips up as you come back into down dog. And then we're just going to keep on breathing. On your next inhale, make sure your right foot is firmly planted in the mat. And we're going to lift our left foot up, keep the toes dialed down. As you exhale, bend at the knee, shift forward, look forward, and then we're going to step our left foot in between our hands, lowering down onto the right knee. Toes can stay tucked or untucked. And we're moving back into that low lunge. Go ahead and breathe. If you're using props, great. If you're not, good. Just make sure your foot is still, or your leg is still at that 90-degree angle, and that you can see your big toe. Chest nice and lifted. All right, when you are ready, make sure your palms are firmly planted into the mat. We're gonna tuck our right toes under, lift the right knee up, and we'll step our left foot back to meet our right, coming back into that plank pose. And breathe. Avoid dogs. One more breath here. And on the exhale, lower down to the floor. Inhale, lift the head and then chest up slightly, coming into that baby cobra. Or if you'd like to grow your practice a little bit, push through the hands and rise up, coming into cobra. Now, if you feel any crunchiness in your back, especially the lower back, lower down, don't come up as far. Wherever you're at, make sure to keep breathing. One more big inhale here. Exhale, lower down. Now we're going to make our way back into down dog, so you can come into all fours and then make your way into down dog, or I'm going to show another option and you can follow along with me. So we'll all meet in down dog, but if you're coming with me, go ahead and tuck your toes under, take a big inhale to prepare, and then on the exhale, push through your hands, engage your core, and we're going to come back into that plank. Take an inhale here, and then exhale, lift the hips, shift your weight up, back, and down, coming back into our down dog. And then just hold here and breathe. One more big inhale here. Exhale, sigh it out. And then on your next inhale, we're going to make our way back up to the top of the mat. So however you choose to get there is perfectly fine. Just don't hurt yourself. I like to take baby steps. Inhale, we'll come up halfway flat back. Exhale, release into that forward fold. Now you can shake your head and neck. You can sway side to side. Take any movements that feel good to you, or maybe just stay still. On your next inhale, go ahead and engage your core. We're gonna rise up, maybe reach for the sky, hands touch overhead. Exhale, let your palms fall to the side, coming back into that mountain pose. And then just breathe, really feeling again that grounding effect, taking a little break, getting off our wrists. On your next inhale, let's go ahead and reach for the sky once again. Exhale, float down into our forward fold. Inhale, come up halfway flat back. Exhale, let it all go. And just breathe. Now from this forward fold, we're going to transition back onto the mat. So make sure your hands are planted into the mat. You can lift the heels up, bend through the knees, and then come down into kind of a little ball here. Once you're in this little ball, go ahead and walk your hands behind you, and then you can set your booty on the mat and maybe scoot back and extend your legs out in front of you. All right, no more planks. Made it, good job. All right, let's just work on our spine a little bit more. So we're gonna come into what's called a staff pose. So go ahead and your feet are going to be out in front of you, just extended. Go ahead and make sure your feet are active, so you're flexing them. And then we're gonna take our palms to our sides and then just press up, roll your shoulders up, back and down, There might be a little bend in them, and then you're just gonna come and sit up nice and straight and tall. So like a staff. That's where I think the name comes from, like a staff pose. Full breath here. Exhale, let it all go. All right, maybe shake everything out. I'm gonna kind of just adjust on my mat here. And wherever you're at, go ahead and slowly come back to lie down on your back. Let me move my crap out of the way here. There we go. All right. So when you're ready, go ahead and just bring your knees into the chest and give yourself a little hug here. That feels really good on my back. You can take some easy movements if you'd like, just rocking back and forth, getting a little massage on the spine. Just make sure you're breathing. And then when you're ready, let's go ahead and we're going to take our knees. Go ahead and bring your arms out to a nice wide Texas T. You might be able to do goalpost arms or just whatever feels good to you. Mine on the wall here, so I can't really put mine completely out. But I'm going to take my knees and I'm going to shift over to the right. Now, if your knees don't come all the way down, that's perfectly fine. You can use, like I had over there, this bolster, or you can use blankets or towels or pillows or even blocks. And you can place that underneath your knees to kind of rest on if your knees don't go all the way down to the mat. If they do, you can bring them over. Just make sure that your shoulder blade is still on that mat. And then just breathe. One more big inhale here. Exhale, let it go. And then we're gonna bring it back into center. Maybe give yourself a little hug. Take a breath here just to reset. Again, compare both sides of your body. See if you can notice any differences. And then after your next exhale, go ahead and release the knees. You can bring your arms back out to that wide Texas T. And then we're going to shift our legs over to the left, coming into a nice reclined twist here. And then just breathe. One more big inhale here. Exhale, let it all go. All right, when you're ready, we'll return back to center. Go ahead and give your knees another big squeeze in, stretching out that back a little bit more. And then we're going to release the feet to the mat. Go ahead and bring the soles of your feet to touch, just letting your knees fall out to either side. Now you can put your hands on your belly if you'd like. Some people like to put a hand on their heart, a hand on their chest, or a hand on their heart, a hand on the belly. This is another place where if your knees, if this is uncomfortable for you, you can bring blocks or blankets or even like a bolster underneath to bring that floor up to you so it's a little bit more comfortable. But take a moment here just to open through the hips and breathe. This is our reclined cobbler's pose. And if this is not working for you today, just go to wherever it feels good. So you might not be able to extend through your legs all the way. So you can always just bring your feet to the mat too, and then work towards that. One more big inhale here. Exhale, let it go with a sigh. And then you can extend one leg out, just straight and wide off the mat. And the other. You can take the palms and just spread them out, reach them up to the sky. Snuggle the shoulder blades underneath your heart space. If you like any props during Shavasana, this is the last pose that we'll do, so this is what we're closing with. If you like any blankets or bolsters, you can certainly use those in practice. If it feels safe, you can close the eyes or just soften your gaze. And then just take a moment here to relax, to feel the benefits of your practice. Just marinate through your body and just really giving yourself gratitude for showing up and for doing and for just working through the practice today, no matter what level or where you're at in your journey. I'm going to go quiet for a moment to let you relax, but I will be back very momentarily to guide you out of this final posture. So the card I pulled for today's practice is Scarab Beetle Spirit. I think I'm saying that right. I may not be. I don't know. It's a big old beetle. And its message is magic works through you. It says in ancient Egypt, the scarab beetle was revered, for the creative magic of scarab beetle spirit reminds us that we can bring forth something extraordinary seemingly out of thin air. Whenever you let your creativity flow through you, scarab beetle spirit reminds you that spirit has given you the gift of infinite potential. You have an ally as you fashion something new or repurpose the old. For spirit co-creates with you, channeling energy through you so that you feel replenished and vitalized as you make magic with what is at hand. Now is a time for great optimism, for you can accomplish anything you desire and your creative endeavors will come to fruition. Miracles, opportunities, abundance, and love will seemingly appear out of nowhere as you allow spirit to work through you and magically manifest what you need. It's a nice little July message, even if it is a beetle. All right, if you are able to stay in Shavasana, stay as long as time allows or as long as you want to. If you need to get going, go ahead and slowly start to deepen your breath. When you're ready, start to wiggle fingers and toes, just bringing life back into them. And when you feel ready, go ahead and place your feet firmly on the mat. Stay there for a moment and breathe. Roll over to your favorite side, coming into a little fetal position. Breathe there for just a moment. And whenever you're ready, go ahead and slowly push yourself up into a comfortable seat, bringing your head and neck up last. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes back up to the world around you if they're still closed. Thank you so much for joining me for this free July practice today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you know anybody else that might enjoy it, please share this video with them if you think they might benefit from it. If you could please also like my video, that would be great. That helps in the algorithm to get this video out to other people who may also benefit from it. As always, if you enjoy this free practice, I do have a Patreon account that you can subscribe to. I do weekly videos for a very low cost. So go and check that out if you are interested. Otherwise, I will see you next month for our free August practice. Again, thank you so much for sharing your time, your energy, and your practice with me. I hope you have a wonderful July. Namaste.